Pole position again. He won the main race last time as well, and he didn't make any mistakes then. He's going to be under pressure, though, because the field's so close here.
Antonio Liuzzi starts in 5th position. David Brabham in 6th. Mika Salo 7th. Dario Franchitti down in 8th spot. He was feeling quite positive earlier on when I spoke to him, but it's Jenson Button on pole position. Tony Kanaan alongside him on the front row of the grid. The Legends race about to get underway here at the race Allstar Series, fully charged by rocket phones. Wait for Button to launch off the line. The revs will begin to rise. Button will stop weaving his wheel from left to right, most likely. Look, there he is actually doing it in real life. He's just trying to get a bit of temperature in, I don't know. Here we go, wait for the lights. Button on pole, Kanaan second. And away we go. Immediately pulls to the inside in the blue and white car. Antonio Liuzzi sending one up the inside, and there is Magnussen wheel to wheel with Button, and he squeezes him out wide. Button drops to second place, might be third because Emanuele Pirro is getting involved in the fight as well. But Jan Magnussen forcefully takes the lead. Button is second, Pirro's round. Emanuele Pirro, sitting on a fishing chair in his home, is now facing backwards at the first corner. Jan Magnussen into the lead.
Yeah, what a shame for Pirro, who had a great start, but not as good a start as Jan Magnussen. Absolutely launched off the line. It was all about the reaction time. Before Button had even got going, Magnussen was coming alongside, and now he leads the 2009 Formula 1 champ by 8 tenths. But Button was on pole. He's been the quickest man so far. Let's see if he can respond.
This was the move into the first corner. Really bold stuff. Oh, and there was some chaos further back. Absolute carnage further back. Looks as though everybody's managed to keep going, but someone's having about 1 million spins in there. But up at the front, it's Jan Magnussen, 0.6 of a second, nay, half a second, nay, 4 tenths ahead of Jenson Button. Button is on a mission here. Tony Kanaan coming with them. Then there's a bit of a gap back to Mika Salo in 4th, Antonio Liuzzi in 5th, Darren Turner up into 5th, and there's the move from Button as he can't quite get through, all over the curbs on the inside. Can't make the move just yet coming into the chicane, but he needs to be careful. But Tony Kanaan is right behind him. This is brilliant. We haven't really had a proper battle at the front of the Legends race yet. They've been great, they've been fun, but we have a race now.
Yeah, Magnussen won 2 weeks ago. Jenson Button won last week. Kanaan is yet to win, and they're all battling now for top spot, and that really concertina because Magnussen got in way too hot for the chicane and Button got a super run coming out. So Magnussen, he's got to not crack under pressure here as they come up to the chicane again. Jenson's really quick, but if Magnussen could just keep braking points, apexes, keep on the right part of the track, then it is not that easy to overtake.
Lap 3 of 13. Jan Magnussen in front in the blue and white McLaren M23 from the 1970s, in which Emerson Fittipaldi won his world championship, or one of his 2 world championships. Button is out wide on the grass. Fittipaldi down in 15th place at the moment. Says he feels like a dinosaur racing these, but he's getting quicker and quicker. We're on board with Button in the inset in the top right.
Really close through turns 1 and 2. He's closed up a little bit there, a bit of a slipstream as well. It's this middle sector that he's got to just ramp the pressure up to Jan Magnussen, who did crack before. But Button couldn't quite, by a matter of inches, get his Brawn liveried McLaren M23 up the inside into the final corner. Magnussen all over the curbs. 1, 2, and then 3. Skips up over the right crest on the exit of the chicane. But look, Button is even closer this time. He might have a run down at turn 1 here.
Under the ABK Beer Bridge and down towards the final corner. Button turns in, gets on the power. He's right on the slipstream here, Jan Magnussen. And you can see the slipstream working. Is Magnussen going to defend? No, Button has the inside line. He's laid on the brakes. Oh, he's lost it. He's sideways. He just keeps it together. You saw the camera in the bottom left. He suddenly gave it full opposite lock. And it took a couple of seconds for the game to catch up. And we saw what had happened. They both nearly went off at turn 1.
Unbelievable car control from the 2 of them there. Button on the inside. Magnussen, I think, probably should have defended the inside on the straight rather than try and outbrake the man on his inside at the corner, and actually really risked it by turning in on Jenson there. But they both got away with it somehow. Status quo still at the top, and Magnussen somehow holds on for another lap, but we're not yet at half distance. I am surprised that Kanan's not more in the mix here. He must have made a mistake on the last lap.
He did. On the last lap, coming up through the chicane, he ended up jumping onto the grass. Darren Turner has just emerged from the pits. He was running in 5th place, so he's obviously got involved in some scraps. Magnussen leading, Button second. There is Tony Kanaan in 3rd spot, dropping away a little bit. Dario Franchitti in 6th place now, as he tries to close in on Adrian Fernandez in front of him. Franchitti, the first race winner, as he swings through the left and the right, getting up on the curves. He's in front of David Brabham. Emanuele Pirro's recovered to 8th place. And Jason Plato, in his first race in the championship, is up into 9th position, which is a decent effort. I don't know if I've ever seen Jason Plato drive a rear-wheel drive car in my life with my own eyes.
He used to race single-seaters, didn't he? I didn't
No,
watch
I know,
him when
but
he was in Formula Vauxhall in 1992 or whatever it was, but he has done.
Here comes Franchitti up the inside of Adrian Fernandez, down into turn 1. And he gets through. Oh, Fernandez comes back at him and he's on the grass. And look at Franchitti, not happy at all. Absolutely furious. He's in the Armco, a shake of the head. Oh, and Pirro, and what? Everything's going off. Brabham was flying off the circuit there. And Pirro is up into 5th position. Plato is up into 6th. Castro Neves, Franchitti, Fernandez, Brabham. The rest of the top 10, there is Brabham coming back onto the circuit behind Brian Herta.
So Franchitti lost out at turn 1, Brabham lost out at turn 3, and all the while we've got a fantastic battle still going on between Magnussen and Button, who are pretty much side by side, if we can cut to them, because that is for the race lead. Here we go.
Through the first corner, Button was in the slipstream, but he couldn't make the move stick. Lap 8 of 13. Absolutely nose to tail. We go on board with Jenson Button in the inset. Back on the power now, and he's got a really good drive out of there, but surely not in chicane. He's thinking about it. No.
Magnussen's got in a bit hot, though. Here we go. Jenson on the exit might get a run if he can get to the inside. He can't quite. What a race between these two. Button is piling on the pressure to Magnussen, but he's just about managing to hold on the Dane.
I love this. Jan Magnussen across the line to start lap 9 of 13. Just holding off from Jenson Button, who weaves to the inside to put Magnussen off a little bit, but it doesn't work. Magnussen holds the place. Tony Kanaan still 1.7 seconds back from the race leaders, who are just 0.2 of a second apart. Bit of a slide there from Button as he came into turn 2. Wonderful cars to watch these Legends racing. They're four-wheel drifting all the way.
Jenson's really wringing the neck of that car. Look at that. He's so close to the back of Magnussen into the chicane. Somehow they didn't touch, but Jenson is pushing like mad. Button just behind Magnussen for the race lead. If anything happens between the two of them, Kanaan is still within touching distance in the red car in 3rd. But this is phenomenal. Button again four-wheel drifting out of the final corner.
Oh, Brian Herta facing the wrong way, further back in the field as he tries to recover. The only MT reminds me that Plato drove the rear-wheel drive Subaru just a couple of years ago, and I went to watch a race at Thruxton, so I'm absolutely talking nonsense. Here's Jenson Button in the inset, half a second now back, and Magnussen. Lap 10 of 13 in the Legends Trophy. There's $10,000 on the line to the winning driver's chosen charity. Button won it last week. Magnussen's after it. He seems to be quicker everywhere, Button, doesn't he? But just can't find the room to move.
Magnussen's driving some perfect defensive lines. Just that one moment that they touched down at turn 1 where I think probably could have covered the inside. Apart from that, he's just positioning his car perfectly on the apexes and not missing any of the exits. And these cars are so tricky to drive on the exit. It's easy to make a mistake. This time Button can't quite go through at turn 1 still, but he's as close as he's ever been, almost pushing Magnussen round turn 1.
On behalf of myself, I'd like to apologise to Peter Solberg, because the reason he missed and isn't in this race is because he missed qualifying because he was talking to us. So huge apologies there to Peter Solberg. But great to have him here. Hopefully he'll be back in the future. Lap 11 of 13, and in fact for the second race later on. Lap 11 of 13, Jenson Button attacking and Magnussen as they come over the crest. Has he got it? Looks to the inside. Oh, not quite. There's nothing between them as they come now under the APK Beer Bridge. Round the final corner again. This has got to be the move, hasn't it? He hasn't been this close before, out onto the back straight. We've got the rear view from Jan Magnussen up into the top right. Button's closing. Not enough.
Magnussen was deep on the brakes though, and Button closes again through the apex. Can he get the exit to just pressurise Jan Magnussen around this penultimate lap? I think Jenson's going to go for it. I can't see Button just sticking behind Magnussen when he's this close. It must be so frustrating for him to be this close. He is clearly quicker, but Magnussen is driving the perfect defensive race right now.
Lap 12 of 13, the penultimate lap. So this is Button's last run towards the first corner, but back markers.
That's the last thing that Magnussen needs right now is the back markers. It's is that Emerson, Papis or Herta that they're coming around to lap? Oh, fair play. They got right out of the way. And Button can't get through there, right onto the apex, almost hits the back of Magnussen through there. And look at this into turn 2. This is a chance.
Quite able to pull it off, Button. He's rapidly running out of opportunities to make the overtake on Jan Magnussen. Just half a lap to go as they come down towards the chicane. It's been a brilliant race in this Legends Trophy. Oh, sends it sideways across the curb, across the grass. Still right up behind Magnussen, but I think Magnussen surely is going to hold on. Button won't have a look into the final corner. You wouldn't have thought. Down they come into the right-hander, and what a brilliant race this has been in the Legends Trophy. Won across the line by Jan Magnussen. Button's going to pull out of the slipstream as they come towards the line, but it's Magnussen who wins by 0.03 of a second. What a race from two legendary drivers, and Button looked absolutely spent after that.
Oh, he must be so frustrated, but what a race we just witnessed between Magnussen and Button for the race win in the Legends. Epic stuff, really fair stuff as well between the two. Just the one time that they touched down at turn 1, it was only a slight touch that was beautifully held. Phenomenal race.
Wow, that was absolutely great, wasn't it? Around the Lime Rock circuit here, it was the win for Jan Magnussen, Jenson Button second, and in all of that, somehow Tony Kanaan dropped away, and Mika Salo ended up on the podium. So great drive from Mika Salo. Pirro, despite having about 1 million inches, ended up in 4th position. You can hear Pirro on the latest episode of the Races Esports podcast, which you can download from anywhere that you get your podcasts. Tony Kanaan in 5th. Dario Franchitti ended up in the barriers, but still recovered into 6th position. And then further back, you've got a lot of non-finishes. Darren Turner, Tonio Liuzzi, Montero, Prios, Servio, Juan Pablo Montoya as well. Not finishing that race. Well, what a race that was. Petter Solberg not finishing either after we accidentally missed the qualifying. Now we can hear from our first two in that race. Jan Magnussen, we'll start with you because you had a lot of pressure there to hold on to that win. Great race.
Yeah, no, that was a fantastic race. Jenson was being very sportsmanlike about it. He had more speed than me. He had a couple of goes into one, and we hit and got sideways, but he did it in such a perfect way that none of us came off. So I'm so happy. That was a tough race. I'm shaking all over.
Congratulations, Jan. That was brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now we can check in with Jenson Button, who didn't quite manage to take the victory there. But Jenson, you were so close. We loved that. That was brilliant racing.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was made a little bit more difficult for me at the start because, I can't see a flag man. I hear the beeps, and I thought I went at the right time, but obviously not. But what a fun race. Jan was awesome in terms of he knew where to put the car, and I threw out the inside once, and we tapped, and we were drifting through two, which was it's a lot of fun, and it's a little bit more difficult in the rear in the sim. So for us to be able to race that close, I think it's awesome.
Great. Well, congratulations. Enjoy the reverse grid race.